They can hear me, but can they hear you? They can hear you.
Soul Calibur 2 is a
Shake.
game that I wish I still had. I used to
I'm
have it.
assuming the GameCube version.
Of course. What other version? Have you heard anyone else talk about any other version of that game?
I had the Xbox version.
Ooh, oh great. I got Link. You got
Spawn.
Spawn.
You know what's funny? I was very okay. So that reminds me. I don't know what you know how they used to have like them little demo discs or something like along
Oh,
the lines.
oh yeah. I remember back in my day. If you wanted to try a game, you had to be subscribed to Game Informer magazine, and every month they will have a demo disc for you just to
Exactly.
try out like the first 10 minutes of 5 games.
And I remember it was this one demo disc. It didn't let me play Soul Calibur, but it showed me like the opening for Soul Calibur. And I was like, oh, they have Soul Calibur on the GameCube. And then it showed Link. And I'm like, wait, I can unlock Link? So I went to my Xbox and tried for so many hours to try and see how I can unlock him. Until later on, I found out that it was exclusive to the GameCube.
Oh man.
My heart broke.
It's just like those moments where I felt for some reason that there had to be more characters to unlock in Smash Bros. Melee after Mewtwo. I felt like there had to be more. No. Once you unlock Mewtwo, that was pretty much it. But hold on, let's see. I'm trying to tweet out that we're live. And
Oh, I forgot to.
yeah,
Hey, Johnny's
we
in the
gotta
chat
do
saying
we gotta
Spawn's cooler, anyways.
advertise.
How dare you, Link?
Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Now, let's pretend Jack's not in the room. Come here. Metaphorically, come closer to me. You don't. Do you really think Spawn is cool? Yeah, it's a great design. I'm not gonna kid about that, but come on.
How
It's
dare
Spawn.
you? How
It's
dare
Spawn.
you? Actually, I never even played him that often.
He wasn't good in Soul Calibur 2, and he wasn't cool enough for you to even buy him as DLC and MK12, even if you wanted to. Unfortunately, it's MK12, so really there was no value there. And as well, you know what? Hot Spawn take here. Hot Spawn take. The only worth I see Johnny's comment. The only worthwhile Spawn media outside of the comics. In the comics, they have their peaks and valleys, mostly valleys. Let's be real. The only piece of media, Spawn media, worthwhile, honestly, it's not even the HBO animated show. Definitely not the movie. None of the plethora of mediocre to straight up bad video games throughout the 90s, early 2000s. No, the only worthwhile piece of Spawn media, well, actually two. The toys, because they're well-made toys, and if you're into that, and would have to be Ice Earth's The Dark Saga album, which is Jack, which is literally in the mid to late 90s, a heavy metal band called Ice Earth. Their lead man loved Spawn so much that he decided to make a whole concept album about the Spawn story. And he did this because he just loved the character. It wasn't a contract, but the creator Spawn didn't tell him to do it. He just he loves Spawn so much, he dedicated his band in studio time to make 13 songs dedicated to Spawn.
Damn.
And the best part, it's actually a pretty good album with some pretty cool songs. And he actually did get the creator of Spawn to draw the album cover. So at least has that. Johnny says, I see I've never seen the HBO animated series. I have not. So I kind of being a bit, I am being hyperbolic. So I will admit that. But I have no opinion on that. It's just, I'm just saying, compared to everything else, really the only worthwhile piece of Spawn merch to really, which is technically not even licensed Spawn merch, is just a band that really like the series, is that album, and I think it's a generally good music.
You know, I never really noticed how much I saw Spawn like in my life compared to like when my dad gave me a toy that was like one of the Spawn figurines. But I didn't know it was a Spawn figurine. I just know it was a figurine. It looked cool. If I remember correctly, I thought it was the symbiote suit Spider-Man,
Which I don't blame you for getting that
black one.
confused. Which I don't blame you getting that confused, because Jack, if you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
so little comic lore for you, like actual like behind the scenes stuff. The creator of Spawn, Todd
Mm-hmm.
McFarlane, he did not create Venom, the concept of the character, but he was the first artist to draw and conceptually in his first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man number 300. So there you go. That's why Spawn has that look, because essentially McFarlane was already using a base kind of concept design from his time working at on the Spider-Man comics.
Oh.
And also welcome. I'm gonna dub him now, just based on a little tweet he sent out. Since Ghetto 100% a game that he hated, I'm gonna call the Sith Lord Ghetto Machine, because he is fueled by this hatred from the dark side of the Force that he 100% a game he didn't like. Sounds like something a Sith Lord would do. So
Only
welcome.
Sith deal
That's
in absolutes.
only a Sith 100% a game they don't like. Johnny says, he says the Spawn animated series is absolutely incredible. Keith David is Kevin Conroy levels are great in there. I have seen clips and pieces, and it does look pretty interesting. The only thing you probably might have to skip is the open introductions with Todd McFarlane himself, only because they're very cheesy, and it's the equivalent of a guy asking you weird rhetorical questions. And he's also not a great narrator. Those like the only like sour spots of those animated series. But they make for some great memes. Ghetto comes in with his hot take on Spawn. He says, "Man, Spawn is probably the most derivative thing I've ever read." But he says the Cerebus crossover is cool though. And for those of you who don't know who Cerebus is, um, I'm not taking you down that rabbit hole, so look it up yourself. Trust me. Ghetto also said, then Marvel ripped Spawn off to make Night Watch. I was gonna say I thought I might have that comic, but I think I'm confusing it with Night Hawk. I think. Could be wrong though. I have to double check my collection. But enough comic talk for now. I actually do have something. So Jack, the only reason I call Ghetto a Sith Lord, aside from the
Mm-hmm.
joke, was that I've been watching a lot of Star Wars content on YouTube lately.
Oh.
But like more like but not like lore videos or anything like that. Just kind of like these long form videos regarding the I guess either the behind the scenes aspect of Star Wars, or what is George's true vision of his story.
Mm-hmm.
But and honestly it led to me you know there won't be any context for everyone watching this, but if you thought that Christian on TikTok had a revelation, I had a revelation, Jack.
Okay.
and
Okay.
and my and my revelation is that uh number one, the people who watched Star Wars as kids, and I'm talking about the original trilogy back in the late 70s and early 80s, who still whine to this day at how Star Wars is ruined. need to get over themselves and grow up and accept that the Star Wars, as it is now, excluding everything related to Disney, because that's its own thing. But the Star Wars that you can watch right now, so the Star Wars you can see, whether it's the current Blu-ray or whatever you watch on Disney Plus,
Mm-hmm.
that is the Star Wars that George Lucas has always wanted, and that is his creative vision, and that is his art. And we have to respect that. You can dislike it or like it in whatever form it is, but at the end of the day, that is his create. That is his creation, and at minimum, we have to respect that.
I agree. That
So,
is very true.
so, and because to be perfectly honest, I never had any strong opinions about all the different controversial stuff regarding the Star Wars films and so forth. So I never thought about it, but watching these videos kind of helped put that into perspective. And Johnny, you say you knew that, which is good. Most people did not, and it wouldn't be and it won't be difficult to look how people responded that, especially with the Disney Star Wars movies, how people were celebrating that now that Star Wars is not held down by Lucas, now we can truly see Star Wars thrive. And look where we are now. Look where we are now.
the
Star Wars.
To me,
Star Wars.
the fact that they say like, the original creator, he was holding us back from seeing the true vision of Star Wars, the one that made up the characters, made up the world, made up everything about he was truly holding us back.
And you know what? And you know what else too? He even George Lucas even went so much as to give an outline of episode 7, 8, and 9. He goes, I'm gonna direct it, I'm gonna write the screenplay, but here's how the story is going to continue. Here, Disney, this is as part of the $4 billion deal. Here you go. And while we will never know for sure who made the final call, at least we're to one video in which someone really went into detail about and investigating that matter. All I can say is, uh, funny enough, you would think the Disney executives might be the one to blame. Not really. I think the one might to blame to derail everything from the get go. Uh, I'll give you a hint. His uh, he let's see. I give you let's see. His name rhymes with Babrams. So there you go.
Ah, yes, Abrams.
So, so it's interesting to think about. It's interesting to think about. Ghetto. Oh, he has. Oh, he puts his thoughts and his reason why he 100%ed a game didn't like. He says, "I did just because it was a game I was looking forward to, a Gundam game. So you know, Ghetto's getting that day zero. I thought I might as well beat it since I dropped the money on it. It generally is the most frustrating game I ever played. I'll elaborate why in Discord later." Funny. You know what, Jack? I also had a related experience in putting money into a game and then trying to play it, giving the most frustrating experience ever.
Man,
So
I
get,
can't believe you were able to beat Shenmue so quickly.
I know, speed running Jeff over here. I beat the game so the game could no longer play itself. That's how good I was.
Exactly.
Oh man. Hold on. Gettle says, in regards to my comment of respecting Lucas's vision, he says that's true. So how I feel about Snyder's vision for DC movies. I mean, his vision is stupid, but I respect he at least had a vision. That is also true. Like I said, for the more Star Wars fans who don't like what how Lucas envisioned these movies, um, where the prequels or the newer versions of the original trilogy, you're afraid to dislike them, but at the end of the day, you have to respect them, and don't be like those people who literally would. I kid you not, Jack. There are some fans who hate the newer versions of the movie so much that they will cobble up and make a Frankensteinian version of the old movies that they remember.
Ugh.
Yeah, talking about having too much time. Johnny says anyone who thought somebody else could do better than George is stupid. Like, really effing dumb. A complete imbecile. Let's see. Johnny says, he continues. The guy who gave you the thing you like is the one who can give you more of the thing. It's not rocket science. People just jump on hate bandwagon that makes no sense. And that was certainly true. Jack, if you ever want to see a weird part of kind of like nerd culture, look at Star Wars fans like in between the early 2000s to the 2010s, and you'll just see nothing but just bashing against George Lucas, to the point that there was even like a documentary made in like what 13 years ago now, called "The People versus George Lucas." I call it documentary, but I'm putting that in quotations. Hold on. Johnny says in regards to me in my 100% playthrough of Shenmue 3, totally. Johnny said, "Hey, Hack had his Joker moment when that game crashed." I swear. Oh man, I'm gonna have to rewatch it from the streams end, because I didn't know what it was on my end. I can't imagine how it wasn't on your end, Johnny, since he was the he was the only one there. So I can't. So Johnny got a front row seat of just me downward spiraling with this game and really trying to, you know, and all of that. But you know what? The game decided it didn't want me to keep playing, and I'm gonna respect the game's vision, and also because it corrupted my save data. So if I did try to replay it, it's back to the beginning.
It
So
literally said, "Your time is done. You don't have to do this anymore."
I, I paid my dues. I served my time. I served my time in robot hell, Jack. I think I'm ready to come back. Uh all this will not all this will incentivize me to do is that I think, you know what? I spend my time in hell, so in order to spend some more time in heaven, I think I might start that Devil May Cry 3 playthrough soon. Uh, I'm not saying like this Saturday or anything like that, but definitely soon. So that's an early announcement. Hack plays Devil May Cry 3. Expect that in the relative near future. Ah, fuck Shenmue 3. I tried. I was, I want to give that game the benefit of the doubt. I really wanted to.
What are you talking about? It's the best game ever.
Oh, oh my god.
No faults whatsoever.
I think Shenmue. Get it with the let's fucking go with the DMC 3 announcement. Yeah, it will happen. It will happen. Oh, they're gonna have to remind me what yellow and gold means again, because I don't want to screw myself off when I play the special edition. Johnny said, "Oh, so he's writing down what he saw from his point of view. Game footage went away. Hack laughed. I look up from my drawing to see a broken man. Looking back on 6 past streams, plus the wasted off-stream grind he did. Oh my god! Okay, Jack, to get you to understand of how much that off-stream grind was wasted. Okay, so I come to a point where I gotta learn this new technique to defeat this big guy. The only person who can teach me is this recluse old man, who the only way to actually speak to him is to bargain him. Or not bargain, it's almost like kind of bait him like an animal with steam buns and alcohol. So for the past while, I was like, okay, just get those stuff, go to him, literally put it in the offering where he's reciting the temple, and then he will come out and talk. Except this time, when I actually needed his help and to show me his technique, he's like, nah, son, this cheap stuff ain't gonna do. So give me some liquor, give me some 50-year-old liquor. Okay, okay, let's find this 50-year-old liquor. I find it. How much does it cost? It costs 2,000 yuan. How much yuan do I have? About 400. Damn it. How can I get that much money? The only thing I could do is work and gamble. And work at best, even if you cut those logs the best you can and keep that rhythm, at best you'll get like 60 yuan. at best.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so obviously the option is gambling, and of course I've already went verbatim. Not verbatim. I already explained how insipid the game's gambling mechanic is because it's based on real life gambling laws. So I go do the thing. Literally have to do some proportion here, some basic mathematics to figure out which items to trade with my gambling points and which items to trade from that will give me the closest value to what would be 10 gambling tokens that equal to 1 yuan and 5 items that fit that proportion. And I do that for a while. I get my 2000 yuan. Awesome. So I buy the wine. I'm ready for the stream. All right, we're going to continue the story. I give the old man his liquor. Then he says, Jack, then he says, he doesn't teach you the move. He goes, come back when you beat this specific guy from the nearby martial arts temple. And then I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I spent all that time grinding, reloading saves so I can get the most money, only to be told now go fight some people with this game's obtuse combat. But I was like, all right, you know what? I've already did the march. I fought some of the people in the temple before. The next guy is literally the guy he's asking me to beat up. How hard can he be? I go to him, guy beats me up in 2 hits.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, God dang it, time for more. It's not just okay. Learn. Unlike the previous games, it's not like just learn what the techniques would be and just be better at preparing a counter strike. No, literally raise up your levels by increasing your stamina and kung fu. To increase your stamina, you literally do these like mini games where you do horse stances and one hit punches. Pretty mundane mini games, but fine. But they only raise your stamina, aka your health. But in order to increase your attack, Jack, you need to raise up your kung fu. How do you raise up your kung fu? Well, you do that by sparring with like nearby martial artists in the village, and within sparring, you can then just essentially repeat the same big combos over and over until you level them up. Here's the problem, Jack. I've already leveled up all my moves. They are at max level. I literally cannot level up anymore. So then it's like, okay, I got to get more moves. How do you get more moves? Well, my first option was you can buy them. Okay, how much they cost? 1,500 yuan. And I've already spent 2,000 on just getting the liquor.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, guys, prepare for this. Get ready to see what I did for like an hour. I'll stream. But then I found another way. Oh, here's another way to get moves. All right, at this pawn shop, you can get a move if you literally just go out and look for herbs. And I was like, you know what? I would rather do that. So I walked around the village, grabbed the specific herbs I need for the set, got my one move, started sparring as much as I can to raise up my kung fu. I raise it up, and then I'm like, all right, my kung fu is better now. In the midst of all this, I get sidetracked with like 2 side quests that were not fun, not interesting, and wasted my time. And then by the time I felt confident and ready to defeat the martial artists I need to defeat to move the story, by that time that happening on that last stream, the game was having so much trouble trying to load up everything in the world, the environment. And I'm not just saying textures, like literally from the actual environment, you would see it pop up like 30 seconds after you arrive at a certain location. And then you have to wait even more until you can actually interact with said environment. And the game kept doing that so much that by the time I was ready to fight the guy again, and I was so close, I could feel victory in my hands, the game crashes. And not just that, and then it corrupted my save data. And that's when I said, you know what? We're done. Like I didn't even do a proper like goodbye everyone. As far as like from Johnny's point of view, the stream just ended.
Oh no. That's that's funny. You know what? I'm done. End stream. I mean, I'm sorry for your loss.
Johnny says, long story short, the game sucks. Killed itself on hack. Oh my gosh. You know what? No. The better where is that screen? Hold on. Okay. Jack, you wouldn't know this because you don't watch the Angry Video Game Nerd, but I remember. Like, so let me try to find it. AVGN, Friday the 13th, game over. game over. So I can find the image. Uh, oh, is this it? Here it is. Okay. So I'll try to get as much context because you gotta watch an old video, but I'm just Johnny made me remind of an old joke the Video Game Nerd did years ago when he reviewed the NES version of Friday the 13th. And when he beat the game, or no, when you get a game over, the game plainly says, like, no stop. The game says you and your friends are dead. Game over. And to kind of make it funnier, the Angry Video Game Nerd, he's like, well, he was like, well, that's a bit downward game over. Why just say that? Let's go full force. And so, probably personally one of my favorite jokes of his, he then redoes does the game over, and he puts in, "You're dead, your friends are dead, your family's dead, your fucking pets are being skinned alive." Your mom's a fucking whore. You suck at life. The whole world hates you. You're going to hell. Live with it. Game over. And that's what I felt right there. That's what I felt. Well, it's just a game over. It's like the whole world hates you and you lost the game. Oh man, but next time, Jack, just let me win, cause at least you'll get to play a good game. Or at least a game that's actually gonna work.
Just let me win.
Oh man. Oh, Johnny said, "Oh, he just hit the Jets on that very moment." I like to imagine he went to look at himself in the mirror and couldn't decide whether to laugh or cry. So had an undefined expression on his face.
You know what?
I can tell you exactly what happened next, Johnny. You know what happened next? I took the picture. I shared it around. I laughed. Then I went to do laundry, and that was all she wrote.
You know, I'm gonna say we're even. You know why?
Why?
That Halo 2 Legendary stream that I try to do.
Oh, that's right. You had to call it quits. I forgot you did that.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's on a very long hiatus to whenever I feel like going back.
AKA never.
No, there is gonna be a time when I come back. It's just not right now. Like,
oh,
seriously.
Every John Wick moment is like, yeah, I think I'm back. I'm back in this shit again.
I'm not even sure. Did I pass two? No, I only passed one level.
That's right. It was so because I think you couldn't. Was it like those? I forget what they're called, but you couldn't get past like those two big bruiser, those blue bruiser enemies, right? You couldn't get past them.
It was no. I was able to get past those. It's just you remember how Halo 2 Legendary was. The main thing that killed us was the sniper jackals.
Oh, was it then? Was there the ones like impeding your progress?
They're everywhere. Everywhere. So if you forget for a split second where they're at, they will turn around, have their backs facing you, have a mirror, and then like try to snipe you with a trick shot, and they will get a headshot immediately. And it
Oh,
sends me straight to the beginning.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That game's a lovely checkpoint system. If you call it that.
I mean, well, the thing is that I have it with a skull on. You know what? I think I've tortured myself enough to the point where I'll go ahead and forego the skull that forces me to go to straight to the beginning of the game, or not? Yeah, of the level. So I can at least try to play through the whole thing on legendary. But we'll see.
We'll see. And I will just if I'm really curious, I could just look up the cutscenes of Shenmue 3, just figure out what happens. As if Shenmue 4 is gonna happen at all, which
Well,
probably not.
remember, you did all of that, and
Yep.
then whatever you do in the future, to make yourself into a better. Sorry, talking about Shenmue right now, at least Shenmue 3, not the other two, but Shenmue 3 is dropping my IQ a little bit. You go through all of 3 to make yourself into a better martial artist. Just so you still get your butt kicked by Landy, but not as hard.
Uh,
And he still gets away.
Yep, because they wanted to do Shenmue 4.
Yep. Which I don't think that's going to happen now with how Shenmue 3 is.
No, I do not. The only way that game's happening is in a visual novel.
Yeah.
At this point, if you can't even make a game, just tell us like a story. It's literally the cheapest way, and it's the least and considering how efficient your codes were in trying to make a big 3D environment, I'm sure they could handle writing code about which script which text appears based on certain what if conditions.
You know, I mean, to some it could be archaic, but why didn't they just keep the original fighting style and like
If I had to guess, it could be that maybe they legally couldn't do it because the combat at its foundation was probably scripted very similar to Virtual Fighter.
But I don't think you can be able to copyright like
No, you can.
Well, I know you can copyright. Okay, here's a better way of phrasing it. I know you can copyright specific code.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you can copyright something that plays and feels similar to the Virtual Fighter combat.
That is true. They definitely could have done that, but also here's the problem. Guess what?
What?
You play Virtual Fighter?
A little bit, yeah. I have.
All right, yeah, a little bit. Do you know how difficult it is let alone how difficult it is to make a 2D fighting game? You know how difficult it is to let alone replicate Virtual Fighters fighting mechanics?
I mean, that's true.
And it would not be an issue. It would not be an issue if the staff that Yu Suzuki had on hand were his former team that worked on the past 2 games. Because guess what? Those were the people who worked on Virtual Fighter 1 and 2. But he didn't have those people. And he didn't have those people because guess what? They're still with Sega or they're retired. So what does he have to do? Well, so what can he do? Because he himself is not a coder. He's merely the designer and director. Well, gotta do something different because he doesn't have the resources to do what he did literally 30 years ago. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
new thing could have worked, and when you play the combat, there is moments where I see what they were trying to do. Problem is, the game. The problem is the problem is a whole lot of minutia of why the combat was suffered, and the whole stream could I can, as based on even just my limited knowledge of game design let alone fighting game design, I can at least give you some ideas of what was wrong with it just from my firsthand experience.
Mm.
But that will take the whole stream. So the best way I can just summarize is that the combat system was missing a lot of basic game design principles when it comes to provi- giving awareness to the players to the player's attack and to what they can and cannot do. It I kid you not, Jack. It took me to nearly to where I stopped, where the game stopped me, until I realized that there was actually ways to do faster attacks. Because until then, the game hyper incentivized using your big attacks that do a lot of damage, but they have a lot of startup and they require multiple button presses. And depending on which one you do, some have less startup than others. So the game could have taught you, hey, look, they got these big moves. Use them when it's opportune, but if you rely on them, you're going to lose. The game never did that. The game could have just said, or could have actually properly teach you, hey, here's are your quick attacks to get in, get out, and here are your how you dodge, and here's how you can block properly because you can't always be blocking. The game didn't do any of that. As soon as you start, the game literally just tells you press buttons and that
Huh.
every face button does an attack. The game does not even show you where you can look up all your moves. You had to figure that on your own, and not in a creative way in which you rewarded for exploring, but no, in a way that the game merely just doesn't tell you that you have access to at the minimum like 30 moves at the start.
Huh.
But then the problem becomes then that out of all these moves, almost few of them are actually useful. So then you end up to a situation almost like Tekken, where you have a character with these abundance of moves, but you really only need five of them to really win any fight.
Huh.
To Up until you meet a certain character that's over leveled, and unlike the previous games where it's all about all right, change your fighting strategy. Nah, just level up more like it's an RPG. So that's the main flaw of this game. Is trying to teach Shenmue. Shenmue 3 is trying to make Shenmue like a traditional RPG when at its core it is not.
Hmm. Let me see here. You know what's funny? I was looking up. There has to be a mod that can like maybe change up
The
the
only
battle.
mod I would the only needed mod that game would need is just having that running does not take away health. That
Running
is
takes away
such a
health.
yes, dude. Everything, every action you do costs stamina. And when you enter the fight, regardless of what you did, you're stuck with that stamina. So throughout the entire game, you're constantly eating to gain back the stamina you lost just to walk to your next location.
Ugh. Well, here's the mod that I found, and it's very kind of it's a funny way.
Johnny Johnny says, "Quit making and relive trauma, Jack."
I no, I am going to I might play the game if I could see this mod be pretty good.
Jack, if you were going to even touch this game, I'm telling you right now, PC version, and get the mod that either makes the game run better and has it so that the health is only affected in combat and nothing else.
Here's the name of the mod. Shenmue 3 Kiwami Overhaul. I knew you were gonna get a laugh out of it.
That's so on the nose.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna get a laugh out of it. So there you go.
Oh my god, it works on different levels.
Let me. I'm gonna show everyone this. So
Oh
here's the
my
mod.
god.
It's on nexusmods.com. Shenmue 3 Kiwami Overhaul. About this mod. So right now it seems they have been updating it somewhat regularly. It's up to update 1.2 or 1.20 to be more precise. Let's see. The adventure stuff. Adventure camera zoomed out similar to originals. Adventure camera rotates faster, removed lag. Rio sprint slightly faster and removes sprint stamina drain.
Yes.
Optional, shadow grass draw distances been increased. A handful of music swaps. Let's see. Battle camera zoomed out for battle awareness. Battle camera lingers on side view more often. Rio buffed. Unbreakable block, fast slash far dodge. Enemies tweaked with their HP, attack rate, etc. Fight against Lan Di, Ren, Shenhua, and other familiar faces. Dojo fighters replaced. Ooh, okay, that's cool. Optional. Action combat removed input lag for attacks. Emphasis on combo slash shortcuts.
Oh my god. It's literally making not just quality of life adjustments, they're literally just fixing the game.
Yeah, grinding. Rio's stats slash skill level rates increased. Jobs paid 3 to 5 times the amount. Rare capsule toys are easier to obtain. Bad RNG still exists. Story changes. Optional.
Whoa.
Major plot event rewritten and characters reinterpreted for a more interesting story. That's debatable depending on who you ask. Of course, this isn't canon and is meant for players who use Japanese voices.
That one it kind of feels a bit disrespectful, but it's at the end of the day, you could just see it as fan fiction, so it's not that big of a deal. But
I mean, they did say that it's just optional and non-canon stuff.
Which is basically what they should do.
Hey, Fluid, how you doing? What I miss? We're talking about HAC's trauma with Shenmue 3.
It's turned into a therapy session all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's a quick therapy session about Shenmue 3.
And how that the only way to play it is the PC version with mods. Even then, is not guaranteed to give you the best experience. Oh, does it say anything about improving the game's performance?
Probably not. That's probably just due to certain maybe it's just like, oh, if you're not running it on a good computer, then why bother? I don't know. It didn't say anything about those stuff.
Well, that's fine. It fixed the important things.
Also, would you like to see the
hold on. Johnny says disrespectful. Charging money for that shit show is it's disrespectful. I mean, initially it was crowdfunded, so they didn't charge anything. It was clearly optional. And when you can buy the game, it's still optional. So, but I get what you're saying, Johnny. I get what you're saying.
I'm gonna show you in sources. This way you can also watch it with me. Here's a Shenmue 3 action combat mod, and you can tell me the differences between this one and the other one. It's like 2 minutes long.
Gotcha. And also, guys, for those who read the thumbnail, we will get to the Mario movie soon. But we gotta get through this therapy session first.
We gotta get through the therapy session.
We'll promise we'll have the ice cream at the end.
All right.
All right. I have the video ready on my end.
First of all, what does this old man's face look like? It's been.
Oh, dude! Like, aside from the literal actual main characters, everyone's face is so jacked up because the game has such an inconsistent art style. It's almost as if they only had time to really make nice faces for the main characters, but everyone else had to look extremely exaggerated.
Well, it's not exaggerated. It's more like they not lazy either. It's that they just didn't have enough time, so they said, oh crap, we forgot to do the geometry on the other character models. Just plaster the texture on it. It's gonna look fine.
Oh, you know what? Now I see. Maybe it's not as seeable in the console version, but on PC I can see it. Oh god, the texture mapping's not great.
All
Okay,
right.
so
3, 2, 1, play.
so right now I'm gonna get into explaining the action combat system I've implemented here, which is just a fancy way of me
Ooh,
saying I removed a lot of the input lag.
The creator
from
talking
attacks.
about it, or the mod creator
I'm
talking.
gonna say 1 every time that I press a button, and you're gonna see how fast the reaction comes out. So 1,
level 10.
1, 1, 1, 1.
That is actually pretty quick.
1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So as you can see, the attacks come out instantaneously. Makes it a lot easier to react to enemies. As you can also see, the QTEs have been sped up a bit, and that's because with this combat system, you're no longer able to press 3 or 4 buttons to pull up a specific command anymore. You're gonna have to get a little creative with your attacks, which is when you're doing combos, like I'm gonna do this little spin kick here. So what happens when I do this spin kick here is that Ryo gets sucked into a pretty long animation, and that's your window for inputting commands. So
It looks weird.
now I can do the maelstrom strike, right? Like normally I can't do it. If I try to do it, he's just gonna do hook because he's gonna attack immediately. But when I'm sucked into a long animation, now I can do it as long as I'm quick about it.
Some of these are weird.
And that's your window of opportunity for a lot of these moves now. You're gonna have to get a little creative in how you implement them and pull off a little bit of fast timing. There we go. 4-sided kick. So as soon as you get the timing down, it's hard to really mess it up.
Okay.
It's an interest. It's in. Wait, hold on. Oh,
I'm
Johnny
holding.
said he didn't see any. Johnny just didn't see anything. You guys didn't see anything.
Oh, fuck.
Weren't you?
I went to the wrong thing. I pressed the wrong button.
Uh-oh.
While I'm doing this,
Everyone. Hey, is that my fault
so
this
right
time?
well, while we're talking about it, here is the fight. It's literally just the guy doing the same thing over and over again. And
But he's also explaining what he did to the comment.
the main takeaways is apparently the input lag is completely or almost gone, or like virtually gone, because when he says the number and does it, like, let me go again for those in the stream.
1, 1, 1, 1. So as you can see, the attacks come out instantaneously.
So they come out instantaneously. So, is there anything really different compared to the original with this combat?
Yeah. The main difference would be, if I had to really put it, it would have to be that number one, there is no there is a dodge, but it is not as fluid as compared to the original, because essentially, what the game tried to do is that, yes, Ghetto, that's how the game's combat animation looks like. So if you remember, Jack, you had punch and kick in the original 2 games, right?
Yeah.
Which very similar to Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter only has punch and kick. However, one thing that Shenmue added was a dodge mechanic, because we're working with a more of a 3D space and with multiple enemies. So you had a button to quickly, essentially, reposition Ryo to at a more advantageous position. This game has dodges, but as you see from the game's combat, you're pretty much locked onto one enemy. So it's essentially more like kind of almost like a fighting game where you can really only dodge around paying attention to, rather than really a free movement around your surroundings. And
Yeah.
yes, and this is Ghetto. This is after the mod. That's what the game looks like. Now, here's the action, and here's your combat options, Jack. You have punch, kick,
Uh-huh.
and so both game, and that's the original game had. But you have dodge, and you have throw. Shenmue 3, as far as I've been to, did not have any throws. So
Really?
essentially, no throws. Not even not even something where like press two buttons together to do a throw. Nope, there's no throw button. So you can't throw opponents who block. You can only attack. You can only do strikes. Because what they try to do is that they try to have every face button be an attack. Almost honestly almost kind of like Tekken, where all the buttons in Tekken they all attack, but in Tekken they correspond to a certain limb of the body. Shenmue 3 is I couldn't figure out what one button really correlated to, nor does the game tell you. Just kind of have to figure it out. And the dodging is not the best, and you can't grab opponents. Your really only option is to just strike. So funny enough, in trying to give you more striking options, they give you less. They took away an essential offensive option for you to go against opponents who do a lot of blocking.
Imagine. I feel like this is what happened. Rio and Shenmue 2 try to beat up the old man by that cherry blossom tree. He did the throw against the old man, because you can beat the old man. You just
Yes,
have to you have to throw him, and when you do, he's just like, "What kind of move was that?" And
Jiu-jitsu.
Rio just goes jiu-jitsu. And while Rio's walking away, the old man goes, jiu-jitsu. Never heard of it. I have a feeling Rio heard that. His whole pride was shaken to the core. And then in Shenmue 3, he stopped doing throws.
Shit. In Shenmue 3, he lost a lot of stuff. You would think by the end of Shenmue 2, I mean, heck, in Shenmue 1, Ryo was fighting like five grown adults at once and winning. Shenmue 3, all of a sudden, he can't even defeat two thugs.
It's the Arrowverse syndrome there.
and I'm so baffled. It's like, wait a minute, dude, you've been on these two adventures. You obviously you still have a lot to know, but you fought against real tough opponents. You scared me. You beat up. I'm trying to remember his name. The big guy from the final boss of Shenmue 2.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about.
I forget his name, but essentially, you fought all those. And near the end of Shenmue 2, you essentially fought a whole type of really great martial artist. Ryo did that. And all of a sudden, here comes a third one. All that experience is just out the window as he's getting beat up by two thugs. And everyone's telling him, you gotta raise your kung fu. And motherfucker, Ryo, he's only like 18. And he's already beating up people who have twice his age and twice his experience.
You gotta crunch Jack. Stop it.
Johnny says, so the council agrees. Game bad. No, Johnny. I must consult with the elder gods to see if this game is bad. All right. We're an hour in. We can go on and on, but it will be never ending. And I think Johnny was going to get fed up at a certain point. So
yeah,
as he put it pointedly, the game is bad. And if you ever really want to, try it out for yourself, honestly, I mean, don't. But if you're that masochistic, play the PC version with mods. So at least you get a game that actually works. Not a great game, just a game that works. You'll get the game to be as good as Devil May Cry 2, and that it works and you can beat it.
Johnny says, he's cursing Jack. Stop this. His programming is failing. No, that is Christian programming.
But let's talk about more positive things, There's there's more positive things. You know what's a positive thing I like, Jack?
What?
I like the Mario movie.
Yeah. It was a good movie. Oh yeah, sorry. Actually, we can't talk about the movie. Johnny has a great point. He says, "No, don't talk about the movie. Nintendo will sue you to pay money for the rest of your lives. They did like that. They did to that other dude."
Oh, you mean the criminal who scammed people by breaking their switches from and promises of hacks and for money, like that guy?
Well, I guess that's the end of the stream. Then I guess we can't talk about the movie.
Uh, oh man, I love how people still get surprised when Nintendo does something. And again, all I can say, and I'll keep saying it, if you want to get why Nintendo does this, go to a channel called Moon, watch his Nintendo video, and he can tell you from a legal's perspective why Nintendo does what it does. I'm not saying it's gonna change your mind, but it's gonna give you a perspective to consider. I'll leave it at that. Anyways, but yeah, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I've seen it. Jack has also seen it. Now, I did a letterbox review, of course, and so my thoughts are already there. But I will reiterate because not everybody uses the website. Most people probably don't even know I even have a letterbox, which I don't really advertise because really, it's we're not a movie YouTube channel. I mean, if I'll talk about movies, but only in certain situations. Like last week, when I dedicated an entire stream just to talk about the Scream movies.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna be called Triple Toasted. Oh, yep. There you go.
Oh my god! Oh my god, Jack! I'm so glad you thought of the joke. Okay, Jack. If not, okay, I kid you not, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
If not for the current thumbnail, which I still like, because like two jokes, there's actually more like 5 jokes in one of that thumbnail. One of the names of the episode I considered was gonna be a play on Double Toasted, but instead I was gonna go with Triple Buttered.
That is
because
perfect. Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna go with Triple Butter because we're talking about movies. So I was like, but I haven't. Unfortunately, I haven't seen the D&D movie, though I heard positive things about it. Honestly might be something I watch pretty later on, or like a rental or whatever. But Jack has seen it, so he can go into that if we have time. But yeah, the fact that you thought of triple toast and I was thinking triple buttered.
Well, I was trying to think of another thing instead of toasted, but I couldn't think of it. So triple butter is perfect.
That's right. Well, all right, we're not the HAC and JAC Show anymore. Welcome to the Triple Buttered podcast. Must be I'm gonna play some fancy animation, and I actually have a studio audience, and I will be Hot Coleman, and Jack will be Jack Martin. There you go.
Oh my god, Jack Martin.
and Jack, you gotta wear the fedora.
Hell yeah. I gotta wear the fedora. Yeah, obviously I'll wear the fedora. You know why? Because you lost yours. I was the one that found it.
Yeah. Oh, that lore. I lost the fedora only for Jack to pick it up. It's the guy version of the sister of the traveling pants. It says the Brotherhood of the Traveling Fedora. Oh man. Hold on. Let me read some of the comments here. Let's see. Johnny says, as a fellow petty king, I choose to believe it's pettiness. The only possible reason for a singular dude would need to get 30% of his cash to a multi-billion-dollar company until he's dead and buried. No, he legitimately actually committed crimes. The fact that his punishment is just that, as crazy as it seems, is better than an alternative because he actually did the criminal stuff. and it's also karma because he ripped people off. So as punishment, he has to pay. He has to pay back the company that in which he misused their technology for malevolent gain. I'm just saying. It's not a thing of he just like jailbreak his switch or whatever. No, he was legitimately scamming people and causing them to ruin their switches. Ghetto says, now you gotta tell us what you thought using their ranking system. Okay.
Okay,
All
yeah.
right. You mean the triple butter patented our patented booing rating system that we definitely made up on our own and no one else.
You know what? I'll say it right ahead of time.
Oh yeah. So instead of 10 at the end, we're gonna tell at the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. Give us your rating, Jack Martin.
They're all matinees because I bought them as matinees. I literally actually did it as matinees. They're all matinee price when I bought the tickets.
Wait. That was just a matinee, a high matinee, or a low matinee?
Okay. This is where the triple butter system really gets in depth. So
that's what they do too.
Oh, okay. It's a high matinee for the Mario movie because I spent extra for the IMAX.
Did you also watch it in 3D?
No.
I did, but I didn't have a choice in the matter.
I don't have. Look at me. I have glasses. They're not gonna be nice. It's just gonna be glasses on top of glasses. I'm gonna be fidgeting with that for like an hour and a half. Hell no.
All right, so it's a high matinee for Jack Martin. As for Hack Coleman, as for me, honestly, yes, I also agree. I give the film a high matinee. But even though although I didn't pay for it, and we watched it at night, with my family, so we watched it at extreme full price and in 3D.
Ooh.
and we got the good front row seats.
Ooh.
So yeah, but I didn't pay for any of that. So
oh, that's better though.
Yeah, so high matinee. All right, so now let's actually talk about the movie.
Yeah. This is how we do it.
All right. So in all honesty, I guess I'll start off first as the first one to see it. Of course, I was very excited to go see the movie, and I had hopes, and there was seen early word of that the movie was getting some good reviews, and while I did see how it was reacted within Rotten Tomatoes, I don't put that in account because at the end of the day, it's just an aggregate website like Metacritic, so those numbers don't really mean anything. So, but I was going in with some expectations that I was going to enjoy the movie, and when the movie started, it's not a spoiler because the movie starts with a scene that everyone most likely have seen with Bowser invading the Ice Kingdom was the first thing that Nintendo showed off. So, it wasn't new territory just yet. And watching the scene the second time, I don't know what they change or in terms of the final edit, but it's from what I could see, the same scene that Nintendo showed many months ago, and I enjoyed it. So once that was done, I was like, all right, new territory, here we go. And the first thing that absolutely astonished me was that upon hearing Mario, like once he actually had started to talk, and me knowing who was voicing him, it all of a sudden I was like, yep, this is Mario now. I didn't question. I didn't. I didn't have a moment where I questioned it. Whatever direction Pratt was given, it worked well for Mario. And so that was the first thing I noticed of how much I was kind of going in, or I guess be buying into these voices for these characters that while they do have certainly iconic voices, we don't really hear those voices in a lot of dialogue per se, just catchphrases and sounds. So to hear them actually talk, it did not take me long to get used to it and to still feel like, yeah, that's Mario or that's still Luigi. And those first 10 minutes, I mean, if you ever enjoyed any old school Nintendo stuff, those first 10 minutes is just an and I say this full proudly, it is just an orgy of Nintendo references. Like stop at a screenshot, you'll find something where like, oh, I know this. Oh, I see what to do with that. It like I said, the first 10 minutes is just a Nintendo orgy of references.
Very,
Yeah,
very well said. I guess very well phrased. Perfect. Thank you.
oh, Ghetto. He adds in. Yeah, I actually forgot Pratt was Mario at moments. However, Charlie Day was still just Charlie Day, but he fit. That is also true. That is also true. I will. That does get into the fact that I am slightly disappointed Luigi did have a bigger role. Uh, However, it worked well for the movie, and it's Mario's movie. Luigi, he's gonna be second fiddle by default. But I do like that the Luigi scenes we do get are fun, and they do play up to his very scaredy cat nature. Although and Jack, do you remember the particular scene where Luigi gets captured? I could have sworn that actually, tell me, Jack. I will say this: in that scene where Luigi gets captured, did you did you did you honestly would hope for that the booze would appear?
I really did. I was kind of hoping that like maybe that or another.
Or those or like just a ghost type of thing?
No, I was just thinking more either that or more of the. For some reason the word escapes me, but the bones.
Oh, the dry bones.
Yeah, the dry bones.
I gotta admit, the movie made the dry bones actually like threatening.
They're feral. They're Jesus Christ feral. I was like, I'm never gonna see a dry bones the same ever again.
Yeah, because when you play the game, you just stomp them and move on. But in the movie, they actually make them look very menacing.
Even then, like in the Paper Mario games too, they talk and they're like have coherent conversations with you, albeit rude, but they're not feral to the point where they look like they're gonna tear you limb from limb.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna eat Luigi for a second.
I'm pretty sure they would.
Yeah, and so actually, I want to start off the non-spoiler section for anyone watching this who hasn't seen the movie. What was matinees, meaning that we think that the movie is good, but I wouldn't say go out to watch it at a full price. I know I'm talking. So Jack, just put it on spoiler section. Give your thoughts as a whole of as give your review of the film and your experience from that without getting too much into plot and the details.
It's kind of like how I was recently watching a video from Scott Falco with his Super Mario movie from with a side of salt, and I think he puts it kind of perfectly, which is if you're not really a big Mario fan or that like a super big Mario fan, then just it's a okay movie. I mean, it's a standard Mario movie where it's just like it's nothing but Mario. That's all you do. If you're there to watch Mario, then it's a perfect movie for you. Definitely go ahead and watch it again for a high matinee. I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, I think that's generally how he kind of worded it without delving into the spoilers. A lot of references.
And actually, what's second that if you're not, I mean, not just Mario, if you're not into Nintendo in general, whether it's lineup of games or their consoles, or just have a personal attachment to the company and its products, then the movie you honestly would see it as a decent kids film. And though, as not to say that the film does not have any not any merits, but it definitely does. But it does have a few elements that stop it from reaching something that could have to be that have more appealing for people looking for such more. That being said, the movie I give the movie praise that the movie understands what it is and keeps it to that. You know, not not every work created has to be a high piece of art, and sometimes even Pixar can't even do Pixar. So the whole point is the Mario can the Mario movie be a fun movie regardless if you are knowledgeable or even love Mario to begin with. And I say yeah, it definitely can. Being a fan of Mario would certainly help you enjoy the experience more, but it's not something that you're gonna be annoyed with, and and you actually find moments of some genuinely good animation, especially considering that it's Illumination we're talking about. So they didn't skimp out on making this a beautifully made movie, and I'm saying very gorgeous. They really did. Uh, the, the artist at Illumination really made sure to not just pack every screw with reference, but to make sure that the world of the Mushroom Kingdom is well represented, down to even the down to the even most in ba- to even the background. So when you feel near the Mushroom Kingdom, you're not seeing Illumination's version of the Mushroom Kingdom. You're in the Mushroom Kingdom, and I got to give props to that because they could have easily Illumination and whoever was head of the director could have easily gone with their vision of Mario, which is what happened with the original movie back in the early '90s, when Nintendo did hand over creative control how the movie should look, and so you get a Mario visually that looks nothing like the game. Here, that's not the case. the The film accurately represents what the Mario games are and what the worlds look like, and that's something to give props to because not a lot of adaptations, let alone video game movies, actually try to do their best to represent the game as accurately as possible. And probably to this point, um, I really can't think of any other movie except maybe, and it's a big maybe, the original Mortal Kombat movie that actually tries to resemble the games somewhat. But this here sets a new standard. That's a way new standard of adapting video game movies, and that yeah, people when people want to see a movie based on the game, they want it to look like the game. How such a wild concept. So
And, and like the funny thing about that is that I know you said you kind of saw, or at least like a very quick blip of what Rotten Tomatoes said. I
mhm.
never delved into it that much either, but I did hear the controversy, or the supposed controversy, which was shocking. Critics they didn't like it. Of course, audience loved it, and the reason why the critics didn't like it was because it didn't have an agenda of some sorts. And I'm like,
I, I would say it would say it for the critics it was 50-50. So it's just to give them some credence. So it's not like it was credence all major movie critics universally hated, but there's definitely a certain I'll put this loss of translation for some film critics that just didn't see what the appeal of the movie was.
but even then, like most of apparently, again hearsay, most of Hollywood did not like the fact that Mario was doing so well, and I like not everything
uh,
needs a message. Not everything needs a message. Just let it.
which is funny because the Mario movie actually does have a good moral.
It has a good moral, but it's like a very not to be not in a offensive way, but it's like a very one dimensional, pretty simple message.
No, dude. What I won't say it's one dimensional. I would say it's more foundational. And remember, at the end of the day, the movie is for kids. So if the kids don't understand what the moral message of the movie is, then the movie fails.
But again, it's a very simple message. Like it's not
Does
something
the
that has to be
Oh yeah, that's fine.
like that exactly. Again, not trying to be offensive. It's just a
I
blunt way of saying it, and it doesn't need to
I
be.
know. I'm just clarifying because some people can take it that because something is simple, oh, therefore it's something that's not worth thinking about. I'm saying some people can make that connection in their head. So I'm trying to provide the context that because something simple does necessarily mean that it's not worthwhile.
Well, of course, like anything simple, you can have a house built simply on whatever piece of flooring you have, but if it's built on sand, it's gonna fall.
Yeah.
Just know that.
Uh, Johnny says critics hate it, fans like it. Same old bit. They don't matter.
Yeah.
When have critics ever mattered? Really?
And the funny thing is, I did same thing like with how Ghetto mentioned that. In a way, it was almost like instantaneous that I was like relieved by the delivery of Mario. Well, Chris Pratt in here because like I was worried that it was gonna not really sound. It was gonna sound off, but the way how it starts off with the whole little. By the way, this is a small spoiler, but it's still in the very beginning of the movie. Is it okay or no?
People are it. I know. I believe I know what you're talking about. That whole scene's already seen is already like released online, so people will know what you're talking about.
Okay, so the little it starts off after the Bowser thing. They go into Brooklyn with Mario and it shows the little commercial that they made. And it shows how Mario and Luigi talk, but like in the very exaggerated or more like game accurate Mario Luigi with the woohoo type of
The Italian,
inflection.
the Italian accents, yeah.
Yeah, quote unquote Italian, because of course I'm gonna go to Italy right now, order a pizza, and they're like, "Would you like some spaghetti, some pepperoni?" With a very high nasally, yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. But and then you hear them talk, and they have that regular voice. So I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense to have like a more exaggerated version for a commercial. That's why it sounds like that. And if it's
Actually,
Chris Pratt actually doing that like that
oh, the
the
voice.
accent, yeah, the voice, it's pretty good. It's a pretty I would give it a pretty real like an A, not A for effort, but an A.
Uh, yeah, it's decent. Although I'm on the mindset that if you really tried, anyone could do it. So it's not like some big mountain to overcome. I think if you, uh, uh, unless you have well, no, maybe if you do have your own accent, but for the most part, anyone can sound like Mario. I can sound like Mario.
No, you
And
can't.
also, yes, Ghetto, I was also happy to hear Charles Martinet in that scene. I thought my ears kind of deceived for a second, but then I was like, nah, that's him. I found him. So glad he got at least a part in the movie. All right. So yeah, we had our thoughts. So now let's dive in deep. Spoiler territory. Here we go.
Yay.
So first off, I think one of the best, obviously with any type of good adventure, with any type of adventure story where there's a hero villain, you gotta have not only a hero character that you want to root for, but you gotta have a villain that's worth worth the threat. And if it's something that's more lighthearted and fun, then you gotta have a villain that the audience can have fun with, even if they know that the villain is terrible. And I'm glad that Bowser, voiced by Jack Black, I just I was just enthralled with his performance and the fact that he had that range of being a goof, but at the same time being menacing when needed. He played that really well, and of course, we got to give props to probably the one. If there's anything people are talking about in regards to the movie, had to be his big song moment in the middle of the movie. You know what I'm talking about, Jack? The Peaches, the
Yeah.
Peaches song, which
Yes.
honestly, I felt it in my soul how much Jack Black was putting into that song. I felt it for a moment. I was like, Is Tenacious D just gonna appear on screen for a
You
moment?
know,
What the heck?
so I want to ask you, and I'm gonna ask everyone else in this chat. There is a reference, and I feel like he did this on purpose. So with the song, did you hear how the chord progression?
Oh, da, 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 da. No, I heard it, but can't say I was paying attention to it. I gotta listen to it on its own, and maybe I can find it. But I wasn't paying attention to the actual music that much because I was just enthralled by Jack Black singing.
Because okay, so granted, I didn't catch this in the first time. I caught it whenever someone pointed it out on TikTok. Let me see here if I can find like the original.
Hopefully not the song, because shoot, the stream's gonna get shut down if you put the song in.
Well, here's the chord progression just by singing it a little bit. It goes da 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 da, kind of like that. Goes da 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 da. What does it sound? What does it kind of sound like? Let me see if I can find a video.
Da, wait, are you going da da da
No,
da 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 da? That?
where is it? Chord. Oh, I could probably find the chord progression from here.
Dang it! Am I going to get my guitar or something so I can hear it with an instrument? Because voices is gonna be difficult.
I think it was under the G scale or maybe G minor scale.
And for those of you using the concert scale, the G minor scale could also be referred to as the B flat minor scale for anyone using a saxophone.
Yay!
It's not relevant to this discussion, but I have to use my music knowledge for something.
I'm trying to find.
So while Jack is trying to find the TikTok, Ghetto says that for him he's physically incapable of doing high pitched voice because he's got that low sultry voice, good for radio. Or at least that's what I hear when I hear Ghetto talk. His voice is so low he makes Barry White sound like a tenor. And Ghetto says Kyle Gass's King K. Rupert.com movie. Make it happen. That would be lovely. That would be lovely. Or honestly, no, Gary Busey. Yes, I would love for Gary Busey to play King role. That would be mwah. That would be amazing. And hopefully, I'll go into this because it's International Donkey Kong before Jack comes back with the videos looking for. We'll talk about Donkey Kong a bit. I am excluding Seth Rogen as a person, kind of an idiot he is, as just his performance as Donkey Kong. Hold on. Johnny says players of breath instruments are in their own wavelength. Leave them be.
Yeah, leave HAC be.
Yes, leave me alone. Okay.
Also, just
for Donkey
Seth Rogen laugh for Donkey Kong. That's hilarious.
I will say this: I wasn't too bothered by Rogen's performance as Donkey Kong because because as far as like the Donkey Kong Country version of Donkey Kong that everyone knows, he does nail the kind of muscle brain, but also kind of dim-witted DK that he is portrayed to be in the DKC games. So it was pretty accurate in that manner. It's just more of a personal preference that I wouldn't have Rogan do it again, but it didn't bother me that much. I think the only thing I wish was that what I oh my gosh. Uh I think it would be I would like to say that I want to spend more time with his rivalry with Mario, but then that would have been but that wasn't the focus of the movie. So if anything, how do you think really having that type of rivalry with Mario what is necessary, even though yeah, of course Mario does have a rivalry with Donkey Kong, I'm sorry,
Monkey
Monkey
Kong.
Kong.
Monkey
With Donkey
Kong.
Monkey. That's my monkey moment. With Donkey Kong. I'm sorry. uh Ghetto says he lost his shit when the DK rap started. It's a good song because he knew it was coming. And he still laughed. It's a great moment. I do love DK's big introduction, and at least it's good to see that the rest of the DK crew got some love as well.
All right, I'm gonna
But
show you. It's not the exact one. It's like it's quicker. It's like more. The one that I wanted to show you was more direct. This one was more like going to the buildup of it.
From this guy. All right, let
Yeah.
me take a look. Let me take a look for real quick.
I'm gonna go ahead
No.
and put it up on my side too. Okay, hold on. There we go. I had to talk over the sound for a bit.
I'm gonna. You can watch it with them. I'm gonna watch it on my own real quick. 'Cause I gotta hear this.
Okay, here we go. So everyone ready? Okay, everyone could see it. Here we go.
Simplest thing ever, and that's so great. I'm tempted to say we're in the key of D flat, right? And the reason I say that is because we have this is the chord progression. It goes G flat major, A flat major, F minor 7 to B flat minor. What that basically is like 4, 5, 3, 6.
I see.
It's a Rick roll. The Jack Black Rick rolled us with a chord progression.
I get. I was kind of hoping for something a bit bigger than that. But
No.
Like I thought maybe like they first. To be perfectly honest, with the way you were singing it, I thought maybe you were kind of hinting at they're using the chord progression for Zelda or something.
No.
But I mean, it fits. I guess it fits with the 80 songs that the film constantly uses.
DK is our man. Oh my god, no. Johnny is okay. So Johnny's doing a reference to DK West from No Straight Roads. So, and also Johnny with the clapback going, "You didn't just do that. I did do that." Well, not me. Jack Black did that.
Ghetto says, but no Lanky Kong. 0 out of 10 shit movie. But I mean, it's neat, but you know what? It's just that it's neat. There's a lot of songs that use that chord progression, but nevertheless, that Peaches song still was still just.
It was a power ballad right there.
It's the definition of a power ballad, and I love just that performance. So we got to continue on because other aspects of the movie. So, I took my thoughts on Donkey Kong. Jack, what are your thoughts on Donkey Kong?
10 Seth Rogen laughs out of 10.
You enjoyed him.
I liked Donkey Kong. I mean, I never played too many, or like I'm not too deep into Donkey Kong as in like he's like a character that I really enjoy so much. So seeing him so early in the actual like development of this movie, I was like surprised. And I like that he did had a good, decent screen time.
Yeah.
The only thing is just that everything goes out the window, not in a bad way. But my opinions goes out the window as soon as I hear Seth Rogen laugh. Because I can't take it seriously. Just going the I can't do it. I can't do it.
I see. Let's see what else. Toad. Toad, plus played by what Keegan. The guy that's not Jordan Peele. I'm sorry, I forget his name. he has this Keegan Michael Key, I think something like that. But Toad, I think he's all. I honestly think he's all right. I mean, it's Toad. What are you gonna do?
I mean,
I guess the positive is that his voice is not as annoying as in the games.
I
But
I kind of wanted that.
Although one question did come to my mind: if his name is Toad, what are the other Toad's names?
Okay, here's what I want. No, they're all called Toad.
I know, but like, how does one differentiate the Toads?
Maybe it's the inflection. Maybe they have a different way of saying Toad.
It's a question that isn't the answer, and just leave it as B. But it's one of those things that I thought about for a second, but then I realized that that's not important, so it doesn't really matter. We got the Toad we're focused on, so.
You know what I want though? Let me see. Now I'm gonna look up online on YouTube right now. I think I know it's a dumb thing, but I do wanted to hear the screechy Toad voice. I did wanted to hear that.
I mean, he was screechy, just not as screechy as he was in the games.
Yeah, but like at the same time, I understand the fact that Toad's voice is so screechy. Even the person that kind of, I mean, it was technically Flanderized, and the person that did the iconic current Toad voice is like also destroying her vocal cords raw every single time they do a recording session of it. It's not.
He had to put in raw, as if there's an unraw way to destroy vocal cords.
But like, I could kind of see why they couldn't do that for the movies. Imagine doing that for the whole movie. But here's what I want. I found it.
This is a completely normal cover of.
Ooh, that's a good quote. He said, good comment, I should say. He says, "I do like how the movie just throws you in and doesn't try to explain the world to the audience." I appreciate that. I'm just glad that when Mario found that warp pipe, I should say, that is like, all right, we're in the Mushroom Kingdom now. Don't question it. We're in it. Go. Don't let it's like that thing of just accept. Don't. Oh God. I see you know what? I'm not gonna for my ears. I'm not gonna watch that video, Jack. For the sake of my ear, because I would like to use them in the future.
What I showed HAC, and I'm just gonna only show the thumbnail. You guys can like watch it in your own times, or if people want it, I'll show it. But here's what I showed him.
Don't indulge, Jack.
Here's what I showed him. Peaches, but Toad sings it. Mario movie. There you go. I would say indulge me, but actually I can't say indulge me because it's I could use that card right now, HAC.
For this? Seriously?
But I'm not gonna do it.
Oh my God.
Just know I have the power.
Maybe you're the Sith Lord here.
I have the power.
No, is it? Oh, you got the Senate emergency powers from Jar Jar Binks because of the vote. We should now call him Supreme Chancellor Jack.
Supreme Chancellor Jack. Sounds lovely.
But let's see. And of course, another character we're overlooking, who's also very important, and actually is a character people have two minds about, Princess Peach. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts to say about her. So first off, I do want to say that out of all the main Mario characters, I think she is the most flawed one. In the fact that they didn't give her too many flaws in terms of either her personality or the fact that or may because of any type of physical flaw or mental flaw. Now I actually do like, because it does make sense that she would be very active in trying to go against Bowser. From a story perspective, yeah, it's her kingdom. She's got to protect it. She got to do something. So I actually do like that she's a proactive character, and she's the one to actually starts the adventure. And however, I do really wish that there were more that it was that the scenes with her were written to kind of see her more. I guess it would be more of a full character or like a regular person. Because with Mario, the very least, yeah, we get to see that Mario's heroic and that he's very athletic, but he also has doubts. Yes, he also has doubt. He also I'm trying to say this right. He has self doubts. He can uh he he goes to a character arc where he feels like he's that type of hero story where he feels like he's meant for something greater, but he doesn't know what that is. But he's also headstrong, which both is in his favor, but can also be used against him. So so Mario does has a full fledged character to work with and for a journey. Peach, not so much, and I think that's what really is my problem with her. We don't relate with Peach's journey, despite her being proactive in the story. She's she mostly is active in just moving the story forward, but never really having a character of her own. We do get small moments of her of hinting at a backstory that she doesn't really know who she is really. She's kind of accept the position in life that she has, and and that she does care for her people, and she takes her role as princess very seriously. But other than that, which is fine on its own, I never got to see. I can't really describe who Peach is, other than the fact that she is that she is a caring leader for her people. So, which I do appreciate, but I would like something that's kind of humanizes her because for the most part, she sometimes comes off as if we really need Mario to set adventure, and not that we needed him, but he certainly helped turn the tide near the end. But and with Peach's original plan of how to defeat Bowser, that if not for Bowser's surprise attack, she may actually had a chance to defend her kingdom.
Yeah.
So and also I do kind of wish that their personality from the games was more shown. Essentially, just her more feminine side that likes to bake cakes and have tea parties. Because if anything, they'll actually flesh her out even more. In that when it's time for a battle, she's on the case. But when it's peacetime, she likes to just sit down, wear frilly dresses, and eat cake.
Here
It just,
is, well, like from what I was researching more or less was the fact that I don't know, for me personally, the Peach was fine because like there was not I didn't see too much of a problem with Peach, to be honest.
that's kind of the
She
problem, though.
I don't know. To me, not so much because the fact that it kind of reminds me, and I was looking through the through them before the comics, the Super Mario Adventures comics, and in those comics, the Peach in those comics is nothing like the Mario type of damsel in distress Peach that we have in the video games. More or less, it's kind of like I guess the equivalent would be like Super Mario 2, which I would rather forget Super Mario 2. But where like she actually is not afraid to really get into a fight. I mean, there's literally. Let me see if I can find you the.
No,
Uh,
I know what comics I know comics you were referring to, and I do have seen people use them as bit like that would have been a cool basis for Peach's character because I'm willing to admit, just in the games themselves, she doesn't really have much of a character. But that's all the Mario characters, honestly, because they were never meant to be fully fleshed characters. They were just avatars for the player and either just incentives for the player to complete an objective. Here's your bad guy. Here's a princess to save. Beat the game. So I'm willing to admit that the original Peach wasn't there, but what was there and what Nintendo fleshed out in their games and their different games that they had. was that I felt like Peach wasn't really well rounded. Where it's cool that we get to see her more active side and her more adventurous side, but to get real, but I didn't feel like Peach was fully represented well because we've seen Peach on how she is in the games where she is more kind of lackadaisical and loves to just uh be with our be with the Toads or just be with Mario and Luigi and just have a tea party, as I mentioned. So I wish that, but with the story that was being told, not told, I can see whether might have been not been time to do that, but I wish that was kind of emphasized. So if anything, I would kind of like see how she's kind of represented in Smash Brothers, where yeah, she could take care of herself in a fight, no problem. But her princessy personality comes out in the way that she fights. Like you know how Peach fights in Smash Brothers. Like she's either she gets a frying pan, a golf club, or tennis racket just to whack you, picking turnips from God knows where in the ground.
I think this
And
sums up the how I.
and she has and it's a very bubbly attitude. I think that's the main thing. I think that's the main thing. I wish she could still remain adventurous and active, but I wish she had a bit of a more bubbly personality.
Here is a small tidbit, and I think it kind of summarizes how I feel about like how I like this Peach. So I'm showing Hack the
Yes, yeah,
comic
I see the
clip,
page.
and
Yes, I
I'm
see the
gonna
page.
show everyone else this. Y'all can read it, and you can kind of see that this Peach does not care for you. Like she will put up a fight.
Yeah, yeah. So I I I think both of us we see Pete kind of see Peach in two different ways, but uh, regardless of that, she was still a fine character. I just think personally for me, I think she was the weakest of all the main characters in the movie.
The only issue would have been the only thing is that it's probably the direction of the movie itself. Instead of saving Peach, you're saving Luigi, which wouldn't give you time to have the whole. It would just be odd for Peach to be like, oh, okay, well, Bowser got the superstar. Okay, well, I'm too busy having tea time with Toads here. You got to come back another day. And it's kind of a hard thing. Meanwhile, she's now like, oh, instead of in this movie, she's more like, oh, he has a superstar. I don't know what he's gonna do with it. He might rule over the world. He might make us all into slaves. And then later on, she finds out that he just wants to marry her. But yeah,
Well, well, yeah. I'm not saying that she shouldn't have an active role, but I'm just saying, but I'm just saying I just didn't find her personality and how she was characterized very appealing and not very reflective what she is in what she is in the games. The comics and those comic strips, as much as fun as she can be, end of the day, they're not representative of who Peach is either. It's a fun variation of her, much like the movie, but I wouldn't say it reflects of how she's usually represented.
yeah. If they switched it up to where like, but then it wouldn't really be too much of a Mario movie. It'll be a Mario and Luigi movie.
That was also
But that would have
something
been
I
nice
wish.
too. That would have been nice
I,
too.
as also something I wish I wish it was had with Mario and Luigi going on the adventure to
Yeah.
rescue Peach. But here is also not that bad, and as well they could save that Luigi's story for the next movie. And with how much money this movie's making, there's gonna be a next movie. So
Oh,
hopefully in the
especially
next
with the
one,
character they added in there that could potentially,
oh oh yeah,
yeah,
I'm guessing you're referring to the Luma,
yes, the Luma,
huh?
the wonderful little ball of optimism.
I'm not gonna lie. As much it was nice to see that Luma, I did not find it scenes funny, and I honestly felt the choice of type of humor. for the Luma was very out of place.
But it was a ball of optimism.
Yeah, I mean, I got the joke. The problem is the joke wasn't really funny the first time, and it honestly just kind of out of place and very mean spirited.
I mean, it's always kind of out of place, especially I never would have thought a Luma would ever say those type of things either, but
I mean, that's the joke, but that's the only joke it had.
I mean, yeah, it was the only joke, but thankfully it wasn't
I
always.
mean, that's the only thing. Thankfully, it wasn't in the. It was like only 3 quick scenes, and that's one like scene establishing the Luna, and then 2 other small scenes thereafter. But I think it's just for me for being the type of again movie marketing for marketing for kids and so forth. I just didn't think it was that type of humor was just appropriate for the audience.
For me,
A-
I found it funny, and the thing is that I guess that was like their shoe-in of a, oh, we gotta find more jokes for the adults that are watching the movie, so they added that.
Yeah, but then who finds nihilism funny?
I do if it's a healthy amount, and that was a healthy amount compared to the nihilism of BoJack Horseman and Rick and Morty. I find this one more refreshing because this is the same. This is the same type of funny to me as the muffin from the ASDF movies. Movies as in the YouTube shorts, the ASDF YouTube shorts, where it's a little muffin voiced by the creator's son, and the muffin is like literally, the muffin was baked, and then it comes to life and says, "Somebody kill me, someone eat me," because that was his purpose.
Yeah, and that's guess whereas I differ because it's like I don't say it, I just don't find it funny, find it pretty out of place in the very colorful and very lighthearted film, and as well, all nihilism, regardless of any amount, is all cringe. Hence why that I couldn't finish BoJack Horseman, and I refused to give Rick and Morty even a second of my time.
Yeah, but I like the Luma, and I enjoy the fact that they even brought in the Luma. That means that they will definitely have like a whole Mario Galaxy type of thing. Maybe Rosalina will just come in to
Go into
ask for help.
space.
Yeah, they'll go into space. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I mean, they kind of said it looked like it was magic of some sort.
They'll just do it. That's how they'll do it. They'll just do it.
Maybe it's just another warp pipe.
Ghetto has some more thoughts too. He says, yeah, I didn't hate Peach, but she seemed more like Daisy, or rather what fans think Daisy is like. Yeah, talk about a character who has less personality. That's Daisy.
I feel like Daisy would be more crass.
Again, to point out Ghetto, that's what fans think Daisy would be, but Daisy really doesn't have a personality. And the only time we ever seen her is within party or in sports. So obviously she's gonna be more outgoing in a sports game, like all the characters are.
I mean,
so we don't really know how Daisy is outside of those environments.
I mean, it's been kind of, at least with the sports games, it's been kind of set in stone that Daisy's more of a tomboyish compared to Peach.
And that's people took from that, but again, she really doesn't have a personality, much like Waluigi.
Hey, at least it's better than me hearing in Double Dash, Hi, I'm Daisy. Peach. Hi, I'm Daisy. Peach. Every single time whenever someone switches between the two.
Sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem. You know why? Because there was someone that I played Mario Double Dash with. And like at first I think they did it just because they were like in the flow state of like, okay, I'm like trying my best to be the winner of this race. But all I kept hearing from my side was, hi, I'm Daisy. Peach. Hi, I'm Daisy. Peach. Hi, I'm Daisy. Over and over again for like 5 minutes straight. And I'm like, can you not?
Childhood trauma aside, I wanted to give props that they included the eel from Super Mario 64 and just like made it even more creepier than the original game.
It's even more
Actually,
terrifying.
yeah, it actually took me a second to realize that's what it was, and I'm like, oh my god, that's the eel.
I gotta.
Yeah, yeah, go set up Dolphin emulator on your PC. Get him.
Actually, fun fact about that:
Yo,
the Dolphin emulator's on Steam.
as it's good for them.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess so. But it's just an interesting thing.
Yeah.
To me, it is because it goes into the
stone.
whole thing about the. It just shows people the law how it actually works, where it's like, oh yeah, emulation it's legal, but getting the ROMs that's a no.
I mean, yeah, I get it, but like this is something that it's something I have I really honestly have no interest in, or as soon as I'm using it. So
How dare you not have an interest in law? Don't you want to be? I thought you said you wanted to be the best lawyer in the world, Mr. Phoenix, right? Or should I say Phoenix wrong?
No more like not Naruto don't got him. Back to the Mario movie. Like say anything else? Oh, I love the fact that the Mario Kart was implemented, and that was honestly that was a fun car chase scenes, and the fact that essentially when I saw that I was like, all right, it's Mario Kart now. I love it. Love it. Like I said, a lot of great moments that if you are a fan, it just makes those moments even more fun. So, and also people kind of forget because I mean, look how much money the movie made, but also look who the character is, Jack. You, I think people fail to realize that Mario, as a brand, as a character, and as an icon, is literally just as big as someone like a Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
So really, when people say, "Oh, it's for the Mario fans," yeah, the Mario fans. Oh, what 2 billion of them?
Yeah.
Or at least and at least even the oldest person that you'll know when they see that face, they may have never touched a game, but they know who that is. Just like very few of us has actually seen a Mickey Mouse cartoon, but we know Mickey Mouse. So I was saying, so the box office numbers are not surprising, and honestly, again, the movie is fun on its own, even if you're not well informed about uh about Mario's world, because there's really nothing to be really informed about. It's pretty clear cut and dry how Mario is, even just from a story's perspective. So but I do appreciate the fact that the world, like as I said, the setting, I think that's what really nailed it. And I really want to emphasize that I'm glad that they incorporated the setting in a way that number one, you can believe, like, especially with the toads. That's probably one of my favorite scenes early on, with how you see the toads navigate through the Mushroom Kingdom. And it literally is just all the different obstacles that Mario's go through. I love how they found a way to implement those obstacles as being just a regular way a toad travels. I thought that was pretty ingenious.
Ingenious and it's perfect, but their banking system is not.
Oh, just having gold coins. Well, hey, look.
No.
At least
Did you see the way they have to withdraw their gold coins? One at a time. Hit that block one at a time. You better hope you don't have to pay something that's 100 coins, because you're gonna be jumping, hitting that coin for that block for 100 times.
This is why you don't think about that too much.
No,
But hey, at least the Mushroom Kingdom did not leave the gold standard. Unlike the United States is back in 1976. Screw you. Anyway.
But you should think about it because it's funny and they made it funny because you saw that
Exactly.
Toad, he was trying his best to pay off whatever he was paying off because he would keep hitting it, and then there's like a stack of gold coins kind of like stacking up, and he is just tired. You see him tired, gasping for air. I love it.
And also, Ghetto, there's actually quantifiably we can know what's the biggest mascot in the world. That's actually bigger than Mario and Mickey. I will reveal it, but again, and I will keep saying this, if you want to know, go to the YouTube channel Moon, watch that Nintendo video. I'll keep saying it, and it'll give you a lot more information. A lot more information about that. Ghetto says, "Oh wait, oh sorry, you do a butt slam and hold it until you get 100. There you go. See, that's how you
Oh,
get
that's
100 kills.
true.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, so that
Even
Toad
then,
was making his job harder for himself.
you know, even then, like the fact that they showed the butt slam, I was very surprised, and how effective it was too. Like Jesus Christ, you saw how many Koopas he took out?
Oh yeah. Also, I was gonna say I was kind of weirded out when Mario got the mushroom and he powered up. I was like, oh, dang, you're like, dang, you're kind of weird looking, but I get it. That's what the power does. It just, I don't know. It's just kind of funny way to visualize him getting the mushroom because we're so used to in the game Mario is so small that the mushroom makes him normal size. In the movie, he's already normal size, and the mushroom just makes him even bigger.
Yeah, I mean, later on, I guess we got kind of get desensitized on it, and it's like it looks normal because during that quick fight,
or maybe it doesn't look normal, or maybe they found a way to kind of animate and for certain angles make it not seem as weird as that initial viewing.
I mean, I think the initial, like the very first time he used the mushroom, was supposed to be like there for the shock value of like the fact that that's exactly what is happening. Mario inflation.
Having his not inflation. He's just having his Alice in Wonderland. He's having an Alice in Wonderland moment.
Guys, did you know that Mario caused a very, very big issue in Nintendo where it caused the Japanese yen to fluctuate very rapidly?
Oh god.
Just search up Mario inflation.
Oh, don't do that. For the love of God, don't. Ghetto says he goes from a manlet to a bigger manlet. Nay! You gotta give him the respect, Ghetto. He doesn't just become a big manlet. As you saw in the thumbnail, he is the High King of manlets. Not a king of manlets. He's not the Lord of manlets. He's the High King of manlets. There's a difference. Put some respect on that. Also, we're 2 hours in, and I actually do want to. Fortunately, I gotta start resigning for the night. So in summary, Mario movie, fun, good, um, has small issues, but didn't deteriorate my enjoyment. Not a big fan of using the pop music, but all the songs were bangers, so it doesn't affect me that much. But for some people, it can be found annoying. And yes, it would have been nice if they used a lot more of the actual Mario music. And if there is a second one, hopefully that's the case. And Nintendo actually gets more aggressive on using their music, their iconography a lot more than 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 what we've seen here, which is already a lot. So hopefully, the second movie, that illumination influence can be taken out, and so that Nintendo can actually feel the Nintendo movie can actually feel like a Nintendo movie. Jack, your final thoughts.
It's a great movie, and I really enjoyed it. And actually, to kind of quickly say it, because Ghetto beat me to it, I was going to say this at the very end. So, HAC.
Yo.
Even though it's comparing apples to oranges in terms of how they represented themselves, Sonic or Mario? Which did you prefer?
If we're gonna compare it to the first movie, just the first movies, and not regard Sonic 2, from just the first movie, the Mario movie beats it like an abusive husband.
I completely agree on this one.
Like
I
it's not even a competition. I mean, just in the fact that the Mario movie is more well presented what Mario is than the first Sonic movie, it's already in leagues above that. Now, um, now let's see what the second movie has to story. Because the Sonic movie, in many ways, kind of more of the same, but it leaned a lot more into a lot of what Sonic fans love about Sonic. And also, I actually did find the Wayne stuff pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, funny in that I can't believe they're doing this type of way. But
yeah,
also, one really great joke with the um with the priest that was pretty funny.
that was that was amazing.
And you also get it. I did see that tweet going around of how much they had to fight to use the star power up jingle in the final fight, instead of using "Jump" by Van Halen. Which I'm glad that they won that, because it would not be, because when the scenes that music played, I was like, oh yeah.
I swear,
A little kid in me was excited.
I swear that was the main reason why they couldn't just put more Mario music. And it was the studio heads. I am adamantly convinced that it was the studio heads that wanted these things, because it was just very odd for me. Very oddly placed, some of these songs, these pop
Yeah,
songs.
yeah. And like I said, at least they're decent songs. And then mind the AC/DC one, but you can never go wrong with Thunderstruck.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, but it's
But
a
yeah,
little bit
but I
overplayed in a
would
way.
rather prefer actually having like either original Nintendo and the original Nintendo music, or renditions of the Nintendo music. Ghetto says the "I'm him." Yep, that was I felt it too. That final moment, that was Mario's "I'm him" moment. That was his him moment there. Him and Luigi. Luigi got a little bit of a him moment too.
Man, Luigi
Got
knows
to
how to fight. You see, this is why they had to put him at the very end of the movie. They
Oh,
had to nerf him.
here we go. Is this gonna be something like Luigi had to couldn't use all his full power, or else the movie would be finished in the first 10
Exactly.
minutes?
If they had the full Mario Brothers fighting Bowser right there and then, Bowser would have lost in a heartbeat. So they had to nerf it. That's why the warp pipe sent Luigi into the Bowser's kingdom, into the Badlands, and get captured. Because once when he was set free, what happened? Bowser got his ass kicked into oblivion.
Oh, that's right. Which means that I can't wait. I can't wait. All right. You guys start closing things off. Jack, anything to announce until the next episode of the JAC Show?
Well, for tomorrow, I am going to be playing some more. I'm going to be going back to Potionomics. Gonna finish that up. Hopefully by then. If not, we'll see. And on Friday, I'm still not really sure. I think Dead by Daylight there as like a placeholder, but I'm not really sure if I want to play Dead by Daylight again. It's a fun game, but I always never really like playing multiplayer games on streams. I don't know why, but it'll be something. Let's see. What about you?
And as for me, luckily I have now settled into my new place. Hence why I was able to do a stream last week. So and instead now the capabilities to stream, excuse me, on my own accord, I expect a lot more live streams from me. So that also means a possibility of the chill streams coming back, especially more live streams with Kevin, the comic book club streams, all of that good stuff I used to do. Do expect those to return little by little as I get back to the groove of things, and as well with me, and as well with now being finally settled in and having to not to deal with anything that's going to divert my attention away. I can finally start preparing on the Hat Cross for Saint Seiya. I have a whole bunch of comic reviews that I have long overdue. And as well, what else? What else? What else? Oh, and of course, eventually continue on with Spider Bud. But that is something for the far, far future. But just know that Hack is slowly coming back to what he used to be, slowly but surely, and hopefully better than ever. So this channel will not go down into that sweet good night. Will rise, rise. Rise. What was I talking about? Oh, that's right. So yeah, so I got nothing really to announce for like even actual content, but just know, but just at least till the next episode, but just know that I am gonna start playing things to get back in the groove of being, a YouTuber, like if you want to call me that, I guess. And that's all I have to announce. Oh, yeah, Gallo said it. So he says, "Hack Resurrection." Exactly. Yes. By the way, by the way, speaking of resurrection, I'm gonna call BS on fighting Gil in the Street Fighter 5 arcade mode. If you go to the Street Fighter 3 branch, because in the Street Fighter, and at least in Third Strike, you have an attempt, a small window to actually stop Gil from doing the full resurrection. Street Fighter 5 said no, you get nothing. You not only will a fireball not stop him getting from full health back, but you're gonna be pushed aside, and if you're too close, you're gonna get that damage. Nothing stopping the resurrection. So screw you, Street Fighter 5. Screw you for that. I could have won that round. Anyways. All right, go ahead, Jack. End the stream.
All right. So, of course, thank you everyone so much for watching. For anyone in the future that is watching this after the stream, there are, of course, our socials up above us. For Hack, you can follow our official Hack Jack Twitter page at official Hack Jack. For me, I changed mine to just Jack VT. It's just a little bit easier, and it's just easier. I found something to do. And of course the TikTok at official just Jack, which I still haven't done any videos on because it's finals week. We're getting there. I only have 2 more weeks of for the semester. Time flies.
Awesome.
But all right.
Let's hope Jack passes with flying colors.
I hope so, because then after that I only have a few more classes left and I'll be finally having my bachelor's.
There you go. There you go. Everyone, we gotta support Jack. He needs his bachelor's like a, I got a clever metaphor here. Actually, more like a simile, actually. And it's gone now. Never forget the simile and forget the metaphor.
Okay, that's what's gonna happen to me. And it's gone. Didn't do too well. But all right. I thank you everyone so much for coming. And this is Hack and Jack signing off.
Peace.